Devid, a young boy of 12, had always been fond of his daily walks. They weren't long or strenuous, but they were essential to his routine. Every afternoon, as the sun began its descent, he'd slip out of his home, eager for the peaceful solitude of the winding path that led through the dense forest near his village. The path was a quiet, familiar one, flanked by towering trees that whispered with the wind. Birds chirped above, and the ground was soft underfoot with a carpet of fallen leaves. Devid had been walking this same route for as long as he could remember, his sneakers crunching the dry earth, his thoughts drifting with the wind. However, lately, things had been different. It had started a few weeks ago when Devid noticed a figure lurking just out of sight, always at the edge of his peripheral vision. At first, he thought it was a trick of the light, or perhaps an animal slipping between the trees. But the feeling grew. There was someone, something, following him. A shadow that never quite revealed itself. One crisp autumn evening, as Devid walked deeper into the woods, he felt the familiar chill crawl up his spine. He paused and glanced over his shoulder, half expecting to see nothing. But there, standing at the very edge of the trees, was a dark figure. It didn't move, just watched him with unblinking eyes. Devid's heart raced. He took a step back, but the figure remained still. There was something unsettling about the way it stood, as if it wasn't quite human. His breath quickened, and despite every urge to run, his feet remained planted on the ground. The figure, cloaked in shadows, stepped forward slowly. Devid's pulse pounded in his ears. Then the voice came, a soft, almost hypnotic whisper. "You've been walking this path for a long time, Devid." His name sounded strange coming from the figure's lips, as if it were spoken by someone who knew him far too well. "Who are you?" Devid managed to ask, though his voice trembled. The figure tilted its head, and the movement was unnatural, like a puppet on strings. "I am the keeper of the forest's secrets," it replied, "and I've been waiting for you." Devid didn't know what to say. He had always thought the forest was just a quiet place, but now it felt like it held far more than it appeared. "What do you want from me?" The figure's mouth curled into something like a smile, though there was no warmth in it. "You've been chosen, Devid. This forest has seen your footsteps, and now it's time for you to discover what lies hidden beneath." The wind suddenly picked up, rustling the leaves, and Devid's instincts screamed at him to run. But something held him in place, something deep inside, as if the very earth beneath him had rooted him to the spot. With a final eerie glance, the figure began to retreat into the woods, its form blending with the shadows until it was gone. Devid stood still, his breath coming in short bursts, unsure of what he had just experienced. The walk back home was different that evening. The path seemed longer, the shadows deeper. Devid couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching him, waiting. He had always felt a connection to the woods, but now it felt like he was part of a much larger story than he could ever understand. From that day on, Devid's walks would never be the same. The shadow was still there, lurking at the edge of his vision, and he couldn't help but feel the pull to uncover the mysteries hidden deep within the forest. There were things in the woods that had been waiting for him, and now he knew that his daily routine had turned into something far more significant than a simple walk. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one that would take him deep into the heart of the unknown.